Welcome back, everyone, to another Sunless Skies. Let's see how this goes. Can't really do anything in Magdalene's at the moment because I have not sought treatment from anyone, which is a son of a bitch. Because I really needed the money, the fat stacks, the get-rich-quick schemes. I needed all of them, and here I am without money, drifting through space with a Hexit debt. When are these university jokes gonna get old? Never. Never. So last episode, we got the Percy Blythe quest out of the way. Oh, actually, I think I might take this man on. Hopefully he can give us a Salon stewed gossip. Something. As you can see, the combat from Sunless Sea is still here. Whatever that means for you. This perhaps is not the best showcase. Alright, let me get there! Okay. Short quest. Yeah, why not? Oh, with the hold. Probably a bad idea, but Salon stewed gossip. Level up. Okay. What do I need to upgrade here? I think my veils could do mirrors. Mirrors, I need that. Mirrors is going to be upgraded, as is this. No, you just learned to lie. You lost your mind once. Put you in a splendid hotel managed by a cheery gentleman who would determine when you could leave. How colourful the other guests were. How red the curtains, how gold the fittings, how secure the locks. Eventually you were allowed to leave, but was your recovery genuine? Said what you had to, and they send you home. Even now your world is red and gold and splendid. Seems everyone's got a bit of space madness down here. Even me, the main character. So I'm reading all the text logs where I don't want to treat my nightmares. I want to send this gentleman here. Deliver the sky-maddened captain. The nurses bring a stretcher to carry the sky-maddened captain from your train. He'll receive the care of Magdalene's finest. At least Magdalene's finest, with a sense of charity, given that he has nothing on him to pay for their ministrations. Visions of heaven. Okay. And can I use that? Oh, look at that. A meeting with the amenable host. An attendant escorts you through the dazzling violet corridors. The host's red door is always open. The attendant leaves you just as the clock begins to chime. The amenable host reclines on a couch of crushed velvet, a goblet of sparkling wine in his long fingers. Somewhere in the tower above him, the red clock ticks away. It's a policy. The host's atrium is always open to guests. He is available to hear opinions, friendly criticism, and suggestions. Today he has a headache. He beckons you close. His voice is soft and sibilant, like butter melting in candlelight. The guest has become rather too attached to a particular attendant. There are always requests that the same attendant appear in the exact same guise. The amenable host's lips curl in distaste. He reiterates the aim of Magdalene's, a place of healing and respite. It was not meant to feed obsession or self-indulgence, self-loathing. This guest brings sickness. I would have him purged. I have a dossier on our guests, if you're interested in helping. An acting challenge. The amenable host smiles indulgently. I'm so glad you want to help. He produces a thin sliver of pages and passes them to you. I'd recommend taking on the role of one of our attendants. That way you'd be playing the role of someone significant to him. The amenable host sighs, reaching for his goblet. He knows all of our attendants by voice now. Someone new is needed. Okay, we're going to deal with him in the best way imaginable. That's right, we're going to tell him to leave. How do you plan to deal with him? The treatment chamber has been emptied for you, should you wish to adopt a guise from his past. Alternatively, he is standing right there. He does not seem to have noticed you, his eyes instead boring through the doors of the treatment rooms. Approach this directly. Son, get your head out of the clouds. Clouds. He suddenly adopted an entirely different accent there. That's right, we're not all going to be fucking Jennifer Lawrence when we wake up, are we? No. No, we're going to be working full-time jobs at shitty restaurants that we very much hate. The lachrymose guest's eyes widen as you approach. Has there been a problem? You invite him to sit. Stiff brandies are ordered. You recount your own share of heartbreaks and tragedies, how you found yourself here. You make clear that despite all that, you will be leaving. He nods slowly, and after a quick shake of your hand, he walks away towards the station. He does not look back. Man, that was easy. Turns out you could just say, "Get out of here," and they will leave. An attendant escorts you through the dazzling violet corridors. The host's red door is always open. The immutable host smiles beatifically. Of course. My staff will be pleased. It is a risk of our trade, when our clients can no longer separate identity as illusion, but seldom pleasant. He sighs deeply, echoing around the chamber like a newly freed dove. It is a trap so any of us could fall into. His face darkens briefly. Here, take this. He fishes around beneath his couch for one of his goblets. Hey, it'll fetch a pretty price. Take it with my thanks, and do visit us again. Pittances. Give me more. I know you have more money. I could do your fortune. I'm not a charlatan. Trust me. I admired your discretion earlier. Yeah, I was real discreet. I didn't just tell him to fuck off. No, I went through the whole rigmarole of, you know, dressing up in costumes and acting. I didn't just sit him down and say, mate, you've got to go. I admired your discretion earlier. You've seen the dangers of our work upon those who abuse our service, yet we are not immune to it ourselves. He draws your attention to several paintings on the walls. My regulars have, at various points, requested that I be a prospector on Lustrum, heir to a fine house on Port Prosper, a titan of industry on New Winchester. Very specific requests, and more. I have vivid memories of being all three. Yet all cannot be true, surely. He presses a locket into your hand. This bears my image. Let's see if anyone remembers me. I can't remember who I was before this. If I could be other than I am, I'd like to know. Man, he is not going to like the answer. This quest should grant us a bit of cash. I think it was like about 500, if you're honest with the man. Well, event, your whole crew is dead. That's exciting. So we'll just throw some stuff right at you. No way. So many marauders. I'm scared. Help me. Oh god. So this is the series. Glad you could make it. I say we are... Oh, here we are. We are definitely not screwed. We could be. A fledgling colony trying to dig its fingernails deep enough into the spongy fungal fabric of the Reach to cling on when hard times come. It is a sad truth that many more settlements are founded than flourish. Nestled amidst sprawling, sporing gardens of fungus, Hybris is a colony of octogenarians. What does that mean? Does that mean that they're 8 years old, 800 years old, or that they're an octopus? I don't know. Rotting buildings slail gently into decay. Maintenance is poor, population aged, and insects speckled with fungus flies past drowsily. Growth asks no license, reads a barely legible sign staked into a collapsed pile of fungal eggs. A venerable welcoming party is gathered. The wizened mayor approaches. His back is bent, but his pace is steady. There's a firm handshake. Welcome to our little hideaway. Oh, watch your step, that one's about fruit. True enough, the little white sack at your feet suddenly splits. Snaky tendrils of red fungus explode outwards. The mayoral assistant, a severe woman of slightly less advanced years, guides the mayor to a nearby bench. You must stay as long as you like. Something's changing in Hybris. What, there are young people here? I imagine this is every day. A slow day. Every day. There isn't much going on in Hybris today. Seems people are exhausted. That testy pop was me trying to act the part of being young. That was intentional. Fernance waves as she lights candles outside the Brendan. Infected fireflies dance around the long match. The wizened mayor calls to you from the balcony of his house. He's going to bed. He rather overdid it at bowls today, you see. I suppose we'll explore the settlement. Life moves at a slow pace on Hybris. Several colonists tend the allotments, while others sit squabbling outside the Brendan. Periodically, a lady emerges with tea and fungal crackers. Carpenter struggles with fretwork on the new town hall. Carvings are of factories and faceless workers. I can't remember what they looked like, he says sadly. Man, if you weren't put to sleep before. Wander the wilds. Fingers of black and red mushroom rise from the sodden ground. Tendrils of white fungus form vast arches. An earthy smell pervades the air, follows you through the swamps like a lost dog. In the middle of a grove of writhing sacks, you find plinth adorned with broken and twisted nameplates the shape of collars. Brabazon Workworld has been imprinted on each. I believe we get to visit there. Gather a report. Make a delicate inquiry to the wizened mayor. Everyone here is very old indeed. Is there a lower age limit on settling in Hybris? The wizened mayor chuckles. Oh no. Well, we'd welcome young youth, but we don't get many settlers coming out this way. We are happily secluded here. He smiles wistfully as, across the marsh, his mayoral assistant trounces an unfortunate at bowls. Our best years were spent by others. The wizened mayor glances at his allotment, which is overflowing with burgeoning mushrooms. We have plans to hopefully change that, though. So they're going to become John Malkovich, is that it? Well, that was boring. It's a sad day when tea takes up most of your income. The only lodging house in Hybris and the only building with more than one story. The smell of stewed tea permeates the dilapidated boards. A large woman of advanced years produces a pot of green tea and doilies from a mouldering tea chest. She blows the spores off the cups. Back there, I used to read the leaves on our breaks. She peers into your finished cup. I'm sorry. I don't see a long future for you, my love. Most of what you have. Oh, fucking bitch. I didn't want to hear that. I thought your job was to appeal to me and my senses and take my money. I'm not coming back to see you. But my grandma will be next week. Here we had arrived at something interesting. So this is the place we can farm captivating treasures and get rich quick. Do we want to do that? Probably not just now. I'll get a stronger weapon first. Well, a couple of episodes ago, I said I wouldn't be coming here, but let's see what they have first. I can get these easily. Sure. That's not as easy to come by. Salon Street gossip, I don't care for. Fire that in the world. I think the rewards are equally as lackluster for delivering port reports here. Oof. Oh good. As a reward I can surrender my contraband. Maybe I can just lock myself up too. A scrubbed clerk begs a moment of your time. I represent Halliges, the banking house. I promise this will only take a moment of your unquestionably valuable time. Produces a folded contract with a flourish. We hear promising things about you, nurse. Very promising indeed. We would like to extend our services. We provide a secure solution for the storage of your assets, absolute discretion, and steadfastness unto death and beyond. We require only a signature. The offer is entirely complimentary, I assure you. At Halliges, we measure ourselves by the quality of our clientele. Well, I'm glad I had no choice but that. I'm certain this represents the beginning of a long and warm relationship between ourselves and your lineage. May it endure. I'll bid you good day, nurse. I don't like this man. Can I unsign the contract? Recruit the incognito princess. Perched atop a mountain of luggage is a radiant young woman. She's an officer dressed in what an actor would wear in a fantastical romance. A tiara rests on her brow. A steady stream of commoners comes to pay homage, bowing and curtsying enthusiastically, starling circles in dense swarms above her. Refugees from old London are a common sight, although not in such numbers. She ignores everything and hands you papers so pristine that they can only be forged. Offer her a berth on your locomotive. She would certainly make an interesting addition to your crew. I am a humble first officer, looking for... What's the word? When commoners do things for coins? She asks. Work, that's it. She beams at you, delighted, as innocent as a Gatling gun. As she steps aboard, a commoner calmly takes a spoon from his pocket and scoops out his eyes. After such radiance, all else is tawdry, he says, between screams. Seems she's already forgotten about her signing on money. Well, that happened. Search for the amenable host's identity. A titan of industry. There's a rare outside of Albion. The initial search is fruitless. People giggle at the antiquated fashion on display and the daguerreotype, the tilt of the jaw, the unfortunate arrangement of hair. But the proprietor of the round table seems to recognise the face. Oh yes, right side he was. She holds the locket up to catch the falling starlight through a window. Wanted to open a factory here a few years back. Something went wrong and There was a workers' revolt, not been seen since. You've uncovered nothing definitively conclusive here. You may return to the amenable host or look elsewhere. Okay. Here's a little tip and trick for you to Oh! Well, that could have been done better. A little tip is that when you reach the very end of your supplies, you can send out the bat. There's a little bit of time before the supplies tick over, and the bat will take a hefty amount of supplies. So if you time it right, you can lose less supplies when scouting. How do I know that? Because the game doesn't really offer me any other forms of entertainment right now, so it's just something that naturally you're drawn to. In the way that you might be attending a church session because your parents hate you, and you're studying the fly that's buzzing around in the air because fuck, it's boring. Somewhere around here, we are going to find Port Prosper and then go back to Magdalene's, get our $500. We're going to spend that on a pane of glass and bronze wood. And then we're going to go straight back to Port Prosper and complete a quest for 1,000 gold. And then we'll complete any other outstanding side quests we have, except for this one, which is just a bitch. Honestly, Carillion is... it's a good concept. Its mission to achieve, to get the ultimate sin is impossible. This peaceful Carmine institution was founded by devils from London and dedicated to the betterment of the soul. Botherridge's A Tour of Heaven describes it as a cross between a spa, a sanatorium, and purgatory. She commends its bracing as travel around, try to explore Caroline. Gentle denial. Before you can take the first step towards one of the terraces, a devil blocks your way.
Not yet, I'm afraid. You must have permission from the presiding deviless. Some of our procedures are exceedingly delicate. We need to be certain you comprehend what you're seeing.
Returns you in the direction of the center of Caroline.
I'm sure she'll make time to see you.
Led between the wickerworks. The presiding deviless works in an office shaped like a beehive, a stone and wickerwork building that stands all alone in the middle of Caroline's central courtyard. She conducts intake interviews with new patients, one by one. After a long time in line, you reach her at last.
Greetings, nurse. How may we stretch, strain, purify, and strengthen you, now you've come to Caroline?
Her apron is starched, her dress pinstriped. There is a stack of patient files on her desk, colour-coded. The corners of her mouth say she knows something to your disadvantage. Ask her about Caroline. She must be used to explaining. To newcomers, and to those whose memories are attenuated by pain.
We do whatever is necessary to reclaim unsatisfactory souls,
she says. She sits back in a chair, and you can imagine her making just such a pitch to the princes of hell.
For humans primarily, though we do attend to a few other creatures, somewhere on the great chain. They come to us with souls that are stained, disused, in every kind of sort of condition, and we make them acceptable again. Most of those who come to us are volunteers. The rest are beyond the position of being able to volunteer, consigned to Caroline by their families or employers. Oh, so that sucks. And after a stay at Caroline, what then? One should not enter if he does not know how to leave. Most people go home again, she says. Some find that they are weary of their souls and pass them on to us. We operate in that slender profit, on what we get from donations or from sales or penance and forgiveness.
She looks at the blank page before her. But what about you?
You look sturdy enough to make full use of our services. Are you afraid of needles? What is your view of worms? Which do you fear more, venoms or poisons? She takes down a page or two on all your least favorite things. These are all of my least favorite things. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? Listen to the proposal and gain access to the terraces of Carolyn. She's prepared to offer you a deal. Listen, she says. You are free to make use of Carolyn. Take a penance or two. Alter your soul. I think you'll find our services very imaginative. There is another matter I hope you will look into. A devil in rose-colored gloves used to supervise the Gaslight Terrace. He was removed from that position. But I fear he may still not be entirely aligned with the objectives of Carolyn. If you find out anything about him, anything to his disadvantage. She looks grim. Bring me the evidence, and I will reward you. Okay. I'm glad that you're willing to confide so much in me, a stranger who will immediately dob you into this man. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Seems we're all saying things out loud that we shouldn't say to people that we've only just met. Huh, strange that. Let me. Man, this one, I don't even know if any will make this into the video. This one's well, here, for purity you can suck my dick. Whoa, have they changed it so that I can only do one? Thank God for that. So visit the Gaslight Terrace. Dozens of newcomers walk in that direction. It must be a safe choice. Your companions are a lady in a buttoned cloak and a young male student. They talk among themselves about the seasonable warmth and about how the yellowish glow of the lamps does not show blue silk to best effect. The words are commonplace, their hands folded and gloved, their opinions supplied by a respectable gazette. You've almost forgotten them even while you were still walking together. The path that descends by shallow steps to a broad terrace is crowded as an imperial exhibition. Gaslight lampposts are scattered regularly across a flagstone terrace. Between them are stations, each containing a patient receiving a treatment. The supervising devils tend to these stations, stopping first here and there, like bees at flowers. 25%. Vision, imagination, the ability to see beyond the nearest convention. That's what devils are trying to evoke here. Approach the spineless curate. He sits in stocks, attended on by a devilish orderly. At the nearest station, the curate has been shackled to an ordinary pillory. Meet him. I've seen something in this light. It's hard not to see things. A devilish orderly jabs the curate with a needle. At the sight of the jab, the curate's skin goes lavender. I'm being treated for not believing in God. I've tried everything. Prayer, fasting, long weekends with the professional state. None of it worked. My sermons are suffering, my bishop complained. And has it helped? I have dreams of snakes and angels, he says. Hasn't made me a mystic. I don't think the devils are real either. Just men with funny eyes, aren't they? The devilish orderly smiles, with extra teeth. Okay, so I can... Nope. Shifter's perspective and enlightenment. That's easy enough. That sucks that it boots you all the way back here. Okay. Roll the dice. Come on! Be good. Good. Suck it. An army cook had read every issue of Hearth and Heaven before coming to Carol. As punishment, he has to wear nettle flax gloves. As for your punishment, it does not bear speaking of.
You don't have the stamina to wait it out. Ah, got me again. Unendurable. Ah, look at you. Look at all this I'm gaining. Ah, Carolyn, I love this place. Would come to it again. Oh, yes. Roll those dice. And ooh, 25% is the new 5%. Oh, make that 2%. Oh, suck a dick, Carolyn. Oh, also, this almost the name of a children's horror movie. Fucking suck me. Speaking of children. Oh, we did it. That only took ages. An unemployed housekeeper would have been a great novelist if it weren't for disinclination to pick up a pen. It's correct if she was receiving the application of a 7th toe.
Do you feel any more interesting now?
Asks the supervising devil. As for your punishment, visit the checkerboard garden. It is reached by a flight of wrong-sized steps. The rise is too steep and the flat's too narrow. But by the time you come out onto the plane of the checkerboard, your calves are hurting. It's like you just hit up leg day. The devils are playing tricolored chess with some of the penitents. White pieces, red pieces, pieces the colour of a flourishing wind. Around the edges of the board sit the patients who have already been captured were never part of the game to begin with. Oh, this is looking even better. Consider the robbery man who stands at the edge of the board, ignored by the players. Speak with the robbery man. You're surprised that you approach him. He moves to make room for you in case you are merely trying to occupy his space. When you speak to him, he offers you a squishy handshake. By various signals, gestures, and directions of his eyes, he indicates that he has come here looking for his place in the world. Okay. Fine. Yep. Okay. I would, man. I would. Trust me. But then hope you can. I'm going to ask him about the devil with the rose-colored gloves. The robbery man holds up one tentacle, representing the devil with the rose-colored gloves. Then he holds up another tentacle. After a moment, he twists the two together. The tentacle is meant to be kissing. Is that what it is? When you look blank, the robbery man repeats the pantomime several times. Perhaps the devil has a lover. Perhaps the devil loves the robbery man. Perhaps the devil enjoys exotic forms of dance. No. Leave the robbery man alone. Oh, here we go again. Gaining a pensive shift of perspective. Oh boy. 5 more. Hey, yeah, we're on our way to getting 100 terror. Woohoo! Yeah. Oh, booty. I love gaining more terror. Oh, we did it. That was terrible. There you go. You've been paid off. That's better, he says, rolling his sleeves to cover the place where the needle went in. I have a warning for you. Me and the Bell Garden. It's harder for them to overhear us there. Don't follow me right away. Wouldn't do for them to see us together. Then he strolls off. Is that all? Is that what he calls gratitude for the fact that I gained 75 terror to free you? Have you been duped completely? It remains to be seen whether he will be in the Bell Garden after all. And the Bell Garden requires a ritual too. Oh, yeah. Fuck, I love this place. Hey, we did it. First, remove your shoes, wash your face from a fountain of fresh water and your feet in a basin of salt water. Walk across a patch of white sand, throwing a pebble over your left shoulder to baffle any ill-omened thing that might be following you, and sleep in a hammock on a private balcony where only other patients may enter. When you wake up, eat a plain white bread with salt crust. After all this, you will be ready. The stairs lead up. to the highest and coldest point in Caroline. The bells ring louder as you climb. The music is mathematical and exact. Each note sounds for exactly the same length, same duration that is required to ascend one step. No one passes anyone else on these stairs. In a tower over the bell garden, 12 devils ring a change of 12 bells. The full peal will take 11,000 days to complete, without intermission. From time to time, one devil relieves another, stepping in during the half-minute when that particular bell is at rest. There are no errors. This mathematical music can be heard everywhere in Caroline, but it is loudest here. Impurity and imprecision are not welcome. This is the best garden, he says. Everything orderly, no one dressed up in pheasant outfits or waltzing backwards. But here's what I wanted to tell you. Watch out for the tall devil with the rose-coloured gloves. He is embezzling property. The curate makes a curious gesture with one hand, as though he were winding noodles around a fork. When you look blank, he says, Spiritfish! He's taking souls from the patients in secret before the presiding deviless has a chance at them. I'm afraid he's going to get at me before I finish my term here. Dun dun dun! Well, I'm shocked. You lay out what you know. The rose-gloved devil has been stealing souls for himself and not making proper contracts for them either. Spiritfish, she says. And I warned him. After a moment, her attention returns to you. You had a very different soul when we first met. This is the trouble with friendship among devils. Comes back in 5 years' time, and who knows? You may find me engaged in a smuggling operation of my own. Well, can I blackmail her now? Did she not just allude to something? Fine. His presence here is evidently a source of difficulty. She would like to be rid of him. He might not wish to stay. I would be grateful, says the presiding deviless. If I deal with him myself, I will have to make an example of him. One is reluctant to do this. He was my mentor when I first arrived at Caroline. Whoa! Way to go. Ooh, so secret. Well, good on you for turning on your mentor. You were the chosen one! You were meant to help the force, not destroy it. I have wanted to do this from the very start, from early access, but it's just so damn difficult. Ah, man. Planning a trip here into Stress City is never opportune. So it just never ends up happening. I'm a bit. So if we upgrade this, hopefully we'll never run into the trouble we did in Caroline ever again, where our stats are so low that we're just going to get relentlessly beaten. The August Avenues. You spend your youth in the stuffy sitting rooms and chandeliered parlours. Hush, and you can still hear the delicate sound of silver spoons on china cups. You're not ungrateful, but your life was hedged by bounds of civility and expectation. You had to disobey sometimes, to discover who you were. When you had to rebel, how did you do it? Secretly and occasionally. You wouldn't bring shame to your household. You kept your bit disobedience and modest and discreet. No one was any the wiser. I am a soldier who was in prison and in an asylum, and at one time was rich. Man, I've had quite the life. The thing in the mist. Some jolt. I think we hit something, nurse, the driver observes. The mist is thick. You could turn back and search for it. Double back. Offer whatever it was to the burrows below. Well, that was pointless. Music in this game is still dope. It's a real banger, as the kids call it. Old Tom's Well. Below, beneath the scudding clouds, a speckle of structures cling to a shelf of ice. The well winds drag at your engine like the frantic clutch of a drowning man. The well gapes. Nope. This one can offer... Okay, maybe this will. Down through the tearing mists, through the whipped particulates that thunder on your hull, through the shrieking winds which fall abruptly still. A ledge of black ice has accreted over centuries at the well's edge, with only a raised lip affording a sliver of shelter. The landing is more abrupt than you intended. As you regain your feet, you hope that sickening crunch was ice, not your hull. A handful of beehive huts huddle around a crude church built from roughly chopped blocks of the same black ice that forms shelf around the well. Old Tom was a prospector during the promised days that followed London's arrival in the heavens. For years he combed the reach, looking for the strike that would make him rich. He didn't find it. Luckless and impoverished, he made a wish here, at the well. The next month he discovered them under the row of mountains and the rich hour veins that riddled her flanks for a year before his disappearance. He was staggeringly wealthy. Others come here now, the desperate and the broken, with their final futile wishes. Enter the kirk, simple leaning tower and nave constructed from black, unmortared ice bricks. A voice can be heard within. The ice crunches underfoot, caking your boots with a pitchy crust. There is no door on the church. Inside, pews are carved from ice. A ragged handful of supplicants sit on them, bitten by the bleak cold. On the altar, a single precious candle burns. A lank minister reads from a dog-eared scrap of paper. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Speak for the lank minister. Her cheekbones are as sharp as flint axe heads. Her skin is pocked by the cold. Her gaze is judgmental. Once her dress was elaborate and fair. Now the hem's are frayed. Much of the lace is stiffened with frost and sapped off. Her hair is tied in a greasy bun. Well, ask about her denomination. What branch of the church does she represent? The ignorant call us the cursing church, but we are the compassed, who dwell on the brinks. We are the lambs who were torn by the wolf. We are the undone, and the angel of the pit hears us, where it would not hear others. Okay, you are the church of the mad, I see. Ask about their holy text. What is this pitiful scrap of paper? It looks like a bill, or a promissory note that has passed through too many hands and should have been cashed long ago. A piece of toilet paper. That too. The congregation raised their hands. Each has their own leaf of paper. A single page torn from the Bible. The only page that matters. The Judas Psalm. It contains the only lesson that we need to hear. The promise that those who wronged us can be made to suffer. Amen. Ask about their rights. A blessing would not go amiss, probably. They are not for the unconfirmed. If you want to partake of our rights, you must join our congregation. And if you want to join our congregation, you must convince me you are one of us. A confession. Only then would you be permitted to take part in the right of wrongs. I see what you did there. Pun. Yeah, let's get out of here. Offer confession. They will only accept you if they believe you have been grievously wronged. We are not concerned with the crimes you may have committed or temptations you wrestle with, the minister mutters. There is a confession of weakness. You are here because you were wronged, because you bear a grievance you cannot forgive. You are here to ask for Olgard's vengeance on someone. So tell me, who is to blame? I will be off. Okay. Nice meeting you. Oh, nice meeting you too. Explore the beehive hovels. They serve as temporary homes to those who have come to make a wish at the well. The sky churns as you make your way to the pitiful domes. Most are empty, awaiting a well-wisher, but the third one is not. It contains a corpse, stiff as an icicle. Some supplicant who died before their wish was granted. You move on. In the fifth dwelling you find a sallow petitioner, her eyes feverish. I saw gold in the well, she croaks, unprompted. Glistering in the deeps. Alright, we're getting out of this pub town. This egg we will take because there's really no reason not to. You can sell that. Oh, fuck, that's one. Excuse me. A gunshot thunders in the closed confines of your engine. Boots clatter in the corridors. A mutiny has broken out among your crew. Oh, fuck. Suspected it was coming, hence the explosion and charges you set. Or rally the remaining crew in resistance. Oh man, this is a little fucked. Okay, goodbye! Oh fuck! You touch the two wires together, triggering a violent explosion that spins your locomotive sideways through the air. Lamps shatter, plunging into darkness. They still come. Was the mutiny more widespread than you knew? Had they learned of your trap in advance? Was your timing off? It doesn't matter now. You drag yourself up. You will not die on your knees. The end is a scuffle in the dark, a slithering knife in blood. Goodbye, cruel world. Well, that will probably do it for this episode. And here I thought we would not die.